everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another nail video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you step by step exactly how I make a set of press-on nails for a customer from start to finish, so if you want to see how I created this set of press-on nails then keep on watching. So jumping right into making this set, the very first step of making a set of press-on nails is to grab your nail tips and put them on whatever nail stand you're going to be using. For the set I'm doing today, I'm using Apres tips in the style Natural Extra Short Almond. I always like to use natural tips rather than sculpted, which is the other option, just because I find that sculpted tips are a little bit too curved for press-on nails. So in order to put the nails on the stand, you obviously need to know what size nail tips to use, and I find that the best way to get a customer's sizes is by sending them a sizing kit. If you don't know what a sizing kit is, you basically take one of each size of nail tip from your box, stick them to a little card and then send those out to a customer, and then your customer can take those nail tips and size themselves for which ones fit the best. Then they can give you that information, they can send you a message and let you know what size tips they need, and I found that this is the most accurate way to get sizing for somebody else. That is what I did for this set of nails that I'm making today. This set is actually for one of my friends, so it was super easy because I could do it in person and just give her the nail tips and let her choose what sizes that she needed. But it is really easy to do with a customer too. You just need to send them the sizing kit and then they can message you with their sizes or leave their sizes at checkout or something. So the first thing that I'm doing is taking those nail tips and sticking them to the stands, and I used sticky tabs to do that, by the way. Those are the best things that I've found to stick the nails to the stands. And then once I've got all of those nails on the stand, the next thing that I'm going to do is start working on the nail prep. So I like to start by filing off all of the extra plastic that's left at the end of the nail tips. These little bits of plastic or gel are really annoying. They're just left over from manufacturing, but you really want to get rid of that because the nails will look so much better with that little bit of plastic filed off. And then once you've done that, you really want to get rid of any dust that's left from filing those little bits off, because if there's any dust or residue left on the nails before you go in with the next stages of prep, it can make the nails look really bumpy or you can contaminate your base coat. So I like to take my little dusting brush and really give the nails a good scrub with that, just to make sure that I've got all of the dust off of the nails. If you wanted to, you could even wipe the tips with alcohol just to get rid of all of that dust. I personally never change the shape of my nail tips, but you absolutely could do that if you only have one style of nail tips or you want the nails to be a little bit shorter or something. So it is completely up to you if you want to shape your nail tips in any way, but this is when I would do it. So once I've done that, the next step of prepping the nails is to etch the surface of all of the nail tips. This is the most important part of the prep because etching the nail is what is going to allow the base coat and other layers of gel to stick to the nail tips. Gel doesn't like to stick to shiny surfaces, so it's really important that we etch the nails to give the gel something to stick to. For this set of nails I'm using a chemical etch. This one is from Nail Order, but you can definitely etch the nails just with a buffing block or even like a 180 grit file too. The key is just to rough up the surface of the nail because you don't want that surface to be smooth. I will leave a link to my other nail prep video if you want to see how I personally would etch a press-on nail with a buffing block, just in case you're not fussed for chemical etch and you want to see how I do it the other way. The reason why it looks like I'm being so rough with the brush here is because the instructions for this chemical etch actually say to mash the product into the nail tip. So like I said earlier, you're trying to add texture and make sure that the nail's not smooth, and so I think just brushing it on normally wouldn't create enough texture for the gel to stick to. So that's what I'm doing when I'm dabbing the brush like this and it looks really rough. I am mashing that chemical etch into the nail tip. I've used this chemical etch on a good few set of nails now and I'm actually really enjoying it. I wouldn't say that it gives like massively different results than when I've etched the nails just with a buffing block, but it's definitely way less messy, so that is a bonus for me and that's why I keep using it. Also, just quickly while I finish off etching these nails, I just wanted to say that everything that I'm using today will be linked in my description. I always try and link everything that I use just in case you wonder where I got it from or what it is specifically that I'm using, so everything that I'm using today will be linked in my description. So once I've etched all of the nail tips, that is prep done and it's time to move on to my base coat. And I'm just going to apply a thin layer of base coat on all of the nail tips. When I first started making press-ons for myself, I never used to see the difference in using or not using a base coat, but now it's pretty much a part of my routine that I would never skip. It just seems to help the next layers of gel polish apply so much smoother. I don't know if it's just because this base coat is a lot better than the ones I was using before and that's why I'm noticing a difference, but I always use a base coat on my press-on nails now. I think if you use cheaper or thinner nail tips too, base coat is good for adding an extra layer of strength to the nails. I love using Après tips because they're made from gel and they're nice and strong and durable, but I know that some people like to use a more affordable brand of nail tips and then just add an extra layer of base coat to add that strength to the nail. I haven't really found the need to add extra strength to these press-on nails, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. So once I've applied base coat to all of the nails, I always cure my base coat in my lamp for 60 seconds. How long your gel polish needs to cure for is going to depend on what gel you're using and what lamp you're using too. So have a read of the back of the bottle of gel that you're using and it should tell you exactly how long that you're going to need to cure your gel for. So after base coat, I move on to doing the colour for the nail, and you can go straight in with a layer of colour on top of the base coat right out of the lamp. Most gels when they come out of the lamp will have a sticky layer on them and this is totally normal. It's called the inhibition layer and this sticky layer is actually really good because it helps the next layer of gel that you put on top of it stick to the layer below it. So it's actually a good thing in most cases to paint right on top of that. I would only really wipe the inhibition layer off if it's the very top layer or the very last layer that I'm going to be doing on the nail, or sometimes if the gel that I'm working with is really pigmented, the inhibition layer needs to be wiped off, because even if your gel is fully cured, it's had like a double cure, really pigmented colours tend to leave some of their colour in the inhibition layer, so that needs to be wiped off before you put something on top of it, otherwise you're going to end up with some of that pigment in whatever gel you're applying on top of it. But otherwise that tacky inhibition layer doesn't really need to be wiped off. So I'm just going in here and doing a really thin layer of my base colour on all of the nails. With gel, to make sure that it cures fully, you're always better to do thin layers and build them up rather than trying to do one thick layer and having it not cured properly. Uncured gel can peel really easily, but more importantly, uncured gel can lead to allergies, and we definitely don't want that for ourselves or for our customers. Another thing that I wanted to mention in this video, just because I keep seeing it in different press-on nail groups that I'm in and I wanted to make you guys aware, is that you definitely need a big UV lamp to cure your nails in. Those little nail lamps that come in like gel polish kits or flash cure lamps, they just don't have the power that you need to fully cure a nail, especially if you're going to be working on yourself and not just on press-ons. You really do need a big lamp. The little lamps are not the same strength as a big lamp, so even a 60-second cure under one of those little flash cure lamps is not the same as a 60-second cure in a proper big nail lamp. Even if your gel looks like it's cured, there's a chance that it isn't going to be fully cured, and honestly it's just not worth the risk. You can get good nail lamps for pretty cheap. Even on Amazon you can get them for a decent price. I will link the one that I use in the description, and it goes on sale often too. I wouldn't pay full price for it, it goes on sale all the time. I think I paid about £35 for mine, but it's definitely worth investing in a good UV LED lamp if nothing else, because honestly making sure that your gel is fully cured is the most important step of doing gel nails. Anyway, with my little rant over, I've moved on to doing my second coat of base colour for this set. How many coats of gel you do is really up to you. I tend to do however many that I need just to get the payoff, like the colour payoff that I want. If you're new to doing press-ons, something to be aware of is not to add too many layers of gel to the point where the nails end up looking thick or bulky, because I think that bulky nails is usually a dead giveaway that you're wearing press-ons, rather than the finished nails looking like you're wearing acrylic or gel nails. But I think if you keep your gel layers nice and thin, that issue is easy to avoid. So I will pop up on the screen the plan for this set of nails that I'm making today. The inspo images are the reference images that my friend sent me, and she asked me to make her a custom set using those as her inspiration. So I took those images and I drew out a little set of nails based on what I thought she would like, and she did say that she wanted both of the hands to match, so that's why I've done that. I love using these little sheets to take a client's idea or inspo and then drawing it out. I just find it so much easier than freestyling a set of nails or trying to guess what a client would like, because this way you can actually send this once you've done it. You can send the little plan you've made over to your customer and get them to approve it before you actually start working on the nails. I will leave these sheets linked in the description if you're interested in trying them out for yourself. So in terms of nail art, how you do it will really depend on the set that you're creating, so I don't really have a step-by-step for you on how to do nail art in general. Here you can see me adding matte top coat to the thumb and ring fingers, and I did that because I'm going in with nail art on those fingers, and I find that matte top coat is a great smooth surface to work on if you're doing nail art, so usually that is how I will start my nail art designs, by going in with a coat of matte top coat. But other than that, you can really do whatever you like in terms of nail art. I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do it. Obviously for this set of nails that I'm doing today, the middle and index fingers do have nail art too, but because both of those nail art designs need blooming gel, I don't need to put a matte top coat on these nails because I can go straight in with blooming gel. A lot of the time when I'm doing nail art, I will go from easiest to hardest and leave the hardest design for last. That's just my personal preference, which is why I started today with just painting the solid colour nail, because that one is nice and simple. I just did 2 thin coats of this gorgeous burgundy colour. This nail actually didn't need the nude base under it, which is why you might notice that I only did 1 coat of the nude on the pinkies. That was just because I totally forgot that I was doing a solid colour nail on the pinky, so I didn't need any of that base colour. For this set that I'm doing today, because I started with the solid colour burgundy nail, I decided then that the order that I was going to do these nails in was going to be all of the burgundy nails and then all of the chrome nails, and there's no real rhyme or reason to why I did it that way. That was just what I thought was going to be the easiest in my mind. Whatever you think is going to be easiest for you is the way that you should do nail art. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. So in a second you will see me take a little microfiber makeup thing, and these are fab for cleaning up any mistakes. I accidentally got some gel underneath the press on nail, so I took one of these little applicators and some prep and wipe, or you can use alcohol, and I wiped that off the nail before I put it in the lamp. I always try to check the nails before I put them in the lamp just to make sure that I don't have any gel underneath. If you get any gel underneath your press on and don't notice until after it's cured, that's totally fine. Just remember to file it off before you send your nails out to the customer. 1, because it doesn't look very professional to have gel underneath the nails, and 2, that extra gel under the press on will probably affect how the nail fits the customer if you don't file it off. So definitely remember to file off the back of the nail just to make it all smooth before you send the nail out to the customer. So the next couple of nail art designs that I'm moving on to, I'm going to be using that same burgundy shade with blooming gel. So to start with, I'm just going to take some of that burgundy colour and pop it onto a little palette. That way it's really easy to use with my dotting tool. And then the next nail art design that I'm going to do for this set of nails is the Croc print nails. So I need my blooming gel for this one. If you've never used blooming gel before, it's so cool. You basically use it as a base and then add your design onto that base, and the design will bloom across the nail, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It's really cool. So I'm applying a really thin layer of the blooming gel, and then without curing that blooming gel, I'm taking the burgundy coloured gel on my dotting tool and drawing a little croc print pattern. I start in the middle of the nail and draw little rectangles, and then on either side of those I'm trying to draw little rectangles in line with those, and then I'm going to let that bloom until I'm happy with it and pop it in the nail for 60 seconds. Did I say pop it in the nail? I meant pop it in the lamp. The same thing applies for all of your gels. Check how long your specific gel recommends that you cure it for, because it does tend to vary from brand to brand, and you always want to make sure that you're doing exactly what it says to do on the bottle. I was really happy with that croc print nail, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on the pointer finger on the other hand. And you might have noticed that when I put the nail in the lamp, I'm actually using my hand to cover the light that's coming out of the lamp. That's because I've got my gel palette sitting out in front of it, and if I leave that in the direct light from the lamp, it'll actually start to cure. Usually I would move it out of the way, but because I'm filming this, I wanted to show you guys and I wanted you to be able to see what I'm doing. But that's just another little tip for you guys. Definitely don't leave anything that you don't want to cure in front of your lamp. Even if it's not in the lamp, it can still start to cure. So yeah, definitely be careful about that. So once I had finished both of the Croc print nails, I moved on to the flower nail art design, and this one uses blooming gel too. So I'm starting with a thin layer of blooming gel across the whole nail, and then again, before I put it in the lamp, I'm going to add my flower design with a dotting tool. I love doing flowers like this so much because they're so simple. You're just doing 5 dots in a circle, and then when you let them bloom, they make such a cute little chunky flower. These flower designs I did let bloom for a lot longer than I did with the Croc print. This clip is sped up, but I haven't cut any of it out because I wanted you to get an idea of how long it took. I think I let this bloom for like maybe 45 seconds before I put it in the lamp to cure. It was quite a while. I don't think that there's a right or wrong amount of time to let the blooming gel bloom for. The only thing that I would say is that as soon as you're happy with the design, you need to put it in the lamp quite quickly, because if not, the design will continue to bloom. That's why I will always do one nail at a time. I don't ever do multiple nails just in case the design is blooming too much, because then I would have to start again. When you see me going back to the flower with this dotting tool, what I was doing there was trying to pop the air bubbles in the gel. I find that I get air bubbles in my gel quite a lot when I'm using a dotting tool, which is super annoying, but I just try and pop all of those air bubbles before I cure the nail, because if I don't do that, then the bubbles will cure into the gel. And then same as before with the Croc print nail, once I was happy with that flower, I did the same thing on the same finger on the other hand. If I'm doing matching designs like this on both hands, I will always try and compare both nails before I cure the second one, just to try and make sure as best as I can that I've got those designs matching. Blooming gel can be kind of bulky on the nails if you don't do a super thin layer, especially because it moves once you put gel polish on top of it. So there with the polish brush, what you saw me doing was just trying to wipe off a little bit of that excess that had worked its way to the very end of the nail. This is just going to help to make sure that the nail isn't really bumpy when it comes out of the lamp. And if you do find that your nails are really textured, you can buff over them with a buffing block to get them smooth again. So now I'm moving on to some of the chrome nail art for this set, and I'm going to start by adding some of my chrome art gel to my nail palette. I find these metallic art gels to be way easier to use than chrome powder, so wherever I can I will always use these instead of a chrome powder. To start with, for the chrome nail art, I'm just adding a few dots to the centre of the flowers that I just did, just to finish those nails off. I think this is such a cute finishing touch to the nails, and I really like the way that they turned out. I really like this burgundy and silver combo too. And then the next nails that I'm going to do are the thumbnails, and those are the ones that are getting a chrome French tip. I wish that I could give you guys some kind of hack for doing French tip nails, but honestly I just wing it every time. I usually start by painting a rough smile line up one side and then try to match that up the other side of the nail, and then I go back in and start filling in that French tip, and then go back at the end and adjust the smile line until I'm happy with it. I know that there are a bunch of different ways to actually map out a French tip, but I've tried so many different ways and I've never really been happy with them, and this seems to work for me for now, so if it's not broke, don't fix it. It does take me a good while to do a French tip, so I've only left in one clip of me doing this because this video is long enough and I don't think we need 10 minutes of me just painting French tip nails. So the last nail art design that I'm doing for this set is the little abstract chrome design, and this one I did struggle with to begin with. I had to switch to a shorter brush to be able to get the control over the brush, but I got there in the end and I was happy with the end results for this kind of design. I'd never actually done a little abstract chrome design like this before, and I ended up really loving it. I actually love the design of this whole set. When my friend asked me to make these nails, I was so excited because I've been wanting to make a set of nails similar to this for quite a while, but I just hadn't gotten round to it. I think this set is actually like the quickest set of nails I've made for her because I just really wanted to jump in and give this design a try, and I think we were both really happy with the end results. I actually ended up liking these nails so much that I made a copycat set of them for myself, but I did them in brown and gold. So I think that shows how much I liked them if I actually made a set for myself. So once I'm finished with all of the nail art and all of the nails are fully cured, I'm just wiping the inhibition layer off of the nails that have that burgundy colour on them, just because that gel that I used is really pigmented, and in case any of that pigment got into the inhibition layer, I want to wipe that off before I go in with top coat. And then the last step for actually making the press-on nails themselves is to finish with a glossy top coat or a matte top coat if that's what you're going for, but you need to seal in that design that you've just done with top coat just to prevent it from chipping, and I really like a glossy top coat just to make the nails look really nice and shiny. If you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that I always use this no wipe top coat from Nail Reserve. And if you want to try it out yourself, you can get 60% off with my code Kirsten60. I will leave the code and the link to this top coat linked in the description. I'm just going in with a thin layer of top coat on all of the nails, and I'm making sure that I'm covering the whole nail. I really like to take my time with this just to make sure that I don't have any air bubbles or anything, and then once I've top coated all of the nails, I cure them in my lamp for 60 seconds. Usually top coat is the very last step of my videos unless I'm showing you like the end results, but because in this video I wanted to show you from start to finish how I make a set of press-on nails for a customer, I thought I would show you how I prep the nails for a customer too, and also my packaging and how I put my nails on my packaging. So I'm going to finish top coating these nails, and then I will show you how I get the nails actually ready to go for the customer. So now that I've finished making the press-on nails, it's time to get them ready to package up for the customer. I'm just going to start by getting my little backing cards ready, and then before I package the nails, I like to prep the nails for the customer, just so that that's one less step that they need to take themselves before they actually apply their nails. And to prep the press-on nails ready for them to be applied, I like to etch the back of the press-on nails. So like earlier when I was prepping the nails, I'm going to be using my chemical etch, but you do get tiny little etching tools that you can use and etch the back of the press-on nails with those too. And you'll see me here, I'm only etching the bottom 2/3 of the press-on nail. You only need to etch the part of the nail that's actually going to come in contact with the client's natural nail. This is also the stage where I will check to make sure that I haven't got any gel on the back of the press-ons, and if I do, I will use my tiny little etching tool like this and file that gel off before I etch the nails. And if I do need to do this, I always like to make sure that I really scrub all of that excess dust off the nail, just so that I'm not then sending those nails out to the customer with dust all over them. The reason why I like to etch my press-on nails before I send them out to the customer is that glue, just like gel, it doesn't like to stick to a shiny surface. So to get your press-on nails to stick better and to stay on for longer, you want to rough up the back of the press-on nails before you apply them. I like to do this for customers because one, it's a step that a lot of customers are just not going to take, and two, the nails are really tiny, so unless the customer has a little tool like this, it can be really hard to do themselves. So it is just much easier for me to do that step for them, and I think it's a nice touch. So once the nails are all etched and ready to go, the last thing that I'll do is put them on their backing card ready to be sent to the customer. I use a little brush with a sticky tab on the end just to help me pick up the nails and put them exactly where I want them to go, and I try to get the nails as even as possible just so they look nice and pretty for the customer. And then once I've done that, I will go over the nails with a little lint-free wipe just to make sure that there isn't any dust or fingerprints or anything like that on the nails. Usually I would also put the nails in a little cellophane bag to protect them too, but because I wanted to film some clips of the finished nails for you guys, I haven't done that yet because I know the glare would be an absolute nightmare in the camera, so that is the only thing that I haven't shown you guys. So here are the finished results, and that is everything that I did from start to finish to make this set of press-on nails. I really hope that you have found this video helpful in some kind of way. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them for you. Please give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and other than that, I will see you next time. Bye!